You know, it's almost Halloween. I've got a scary story for you. Most garages, when they get built, have no air barrier between the house and the garage. And as a result, anything that they store in the garage, your gas, your cars, whatever, you might as well be living with those in your house. You might as well pull your car into your living room. On the Build Show today, we're gonna show you how to build it better. Let's get going. Okay, if you've got an integral garage or an attached garage like this, meaning this is the garage door right here. This is blocked off for security reasons, but see that big header? That's our 2-car garage opening. Now when you come in here, you're gonna notice we put zip sheathing on the walls, and then I've got living space above me. In this house under construction, we've got a couple girls' bedrooms right above the garage space. Now, we don't have trades started. You can see our plumbing is stocked. The plumbers have not started yet. But here's what we've done before any of the trades have come, is we blocked off the space between the trusses and the house. So where the zip system sheathing stops at those floor trusses, on the back side there, we've added some scraps of our zip sheathing on the back side before the plumbers, before the electricians, before the HVAC guys have started. And on this side, we've used a spare sheet of some Advantech sheathing before the plumbers came. So even though I've got one drain pipe in there, they had to drill to get that drain pipe through. Now here's the reason. We don't want air from this garage filtering into the house space, and we need to block this off before the trades come, so that later we can come in with some closed cell spray foam and we can spray foam the back side of that zip system sheathing. We're also going to tape it just to make sure it's nice and airtight. And then, just as importantly, or maybe more importantly, we're going to spray the back side here with some closed cell foam of that sheathing that got put up. Now it's a little leaky now. You can see some daylight through that sheathing, but the reason why it's up now is so that any trades that need to penetrate that, let's say taking wires from the house to the garage or pipes, anything like that, they're gonna have to drill a hole in that sheathing. And then when we come back with the spray foam, we'll be able to really seal all around that hole and spray foam all that area. One thing I forgot to mention is you can see we've got this blocking here. Had we not done that blocking, we probably could still spray foam the backside of this, but it makes it incredibly difficult. I can't tell you how many houses I've seen that have, 30 wires coming through here, or 6 pipes and 5 wires. And to be able to air seal that after the fact is incredibly difficult. So by putting that sheathing on first, we're gonna be a lot better off. And the other thing I do wanna mention is if you can get your trades to make 1 hole for 1 wire, 1 hole for 1 pipe or duct, that is totally the way to go, because it's going to make sealing around those for air so much easier, and especially when it comes to this garage space. If I drill 1 hole through here for a wire, I can seal that perfectly, but if I have 1 hole and 6 or 7 wires going through, it's going to be really difficult, or maybe 3 or 4 pipes through the same hole, very hard to seal. So you want to put these backers up first, and then you also want to try and get your trades to drill 1 hole for 1 thing. We're also going to spray foam the ceiling. Anytime you've got a garage with living space above, it's a really difficult space to insulate correctly, and spray foam is really one of the best ways to do that. So we're going to use some closed cell spray foam in here. Now we're in the south, we could get away with open cell, but closed cell is definitely the best way to go. A couple other things we're also going to want to do is where the zip sheathing comes down to the concrete, we're going to make sure we detail that. Either we're going to use some building tape, like some Sega tape, or we're going to use some caulking, like a Big Stretch or Lexel or Dimonic, one of those, to make sure that we've caulked between the concrete and the bottom plate on that sheathing. So now we'll have a really tight seal between the garage and the house. Lastly, we want to make sure we've got at least to meet code, a 20-minute rated fire door between the house and the garage, but we're also going to make sure that door seals really well. We're going to make sure we specify some Endura parts, like, for instance, a sill that has an articulating, Z-articulating sill from Endura, to make sure that that jamb on the door really seals well. And in fact, I use one of the multi-point locks at my house so that my door would push into the weather stripping. We want to do everything we can to make sure any air in this garage doesn't get into the house. And lastly, the other thing you're gonna notice here is we don't have any HVAC equipment in the garage. Giant mistake to put your HVAC system into the garage. And you definitely don't wanna share any ductwork between the house and the garage. That's a huge no-no. If you need space conditioning in the garage, you wanna think about putting a mini split head on an outside wall like this so we can run its own Freon line to an outside compressor. We never wanna share any HVAC with the house and the garage. Guys, if you're not currently a Build Show subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow me on TikTok or Instagram. Otherwise, I'll see you next time on The Build Show.